Greetings, sir and sirettes, and welcome back to Stellaris with me, Alathrix, and of course, welcome back to the Blorg Republic, the empire who truly cares about its civilians, and only wants to turn the galaxy into the utopian paradise we all know that it can one day become. So today, our goal is to survive versus the Scourge. The Scourge will be spawning in soon. If we're lucky, it could take potentially upwards of 10 years, but if we're unlucky, it could be in just 1 or 2 days. So hopefully, we'll have a little bit more time. Now, currently, of course, we are not prepared for the Scourge if it spawns very, very close. Now, the only real place where it could be utterly horrendous is this section here. Because of the choke points, we're actually pretty okay, as long as the Scourge doesn't spawn in the the Confederation over here, or somewhere in our allies' territory here. Anywhere else, and we have a long time to prepare, or at least a decent amount of time to prepare, especially if we're lucky and they start going other ways. If we're really lucky, they'll spawn over here at the assembly, even though they are our allies as well. It would be nice, because it would give us a bit more time to try and save the galaxy. Now, although we are getting quite a lot of alloys, in fact our economy is looking fantastic, and our ship numbers are increasing drastically, they're not that powerful because we haven't done many repeatables. So what we need to do now is make sure our ring worlds are all becoming online and turning them all into science, because these are really, really good for that. They're great for trade value, for consumer goods, and science. Lots and lots of tech. So our first habitable section is currently finished, so we'll send over the Blorg. No, we won't. We'll send over the Racket to our ultimate researchers here. And soon, that will increase everything. In fact, I will probably be sending extra populations over here just to try and get everything up and running as soon as possible. Perhaps I'll send over some of the mouth lads from our capital just to make sure everything's running. Also, I have been changing up our mouth lads. Now, rather than being robust, they are going to be industrious and ingenious, giving extra energy and extra minerals. And I've got a little bit to talk about with the servile trait. Hey everyone, Lathrix here from the future, just for this quick message before we continue with the full playthrough. First of all, thank you so much if you've watched the last playthrough and are now watching this one. This has been, by far, one of the more interesting playthroughs on the channel, and so much weirdness has happened, and it continues to happen throughout this video. This is probably one of the few times I can end the video and say, well, we were kind of the good guys, maybe morally grey near the end, but we were ultimately the good guys, bringing galactic peace to all, as the title very well may suggest. But the reason why I'm mentioning all this is because these two videos combined represent the longest amount of recording I have ever done for a couple of videos. Even one of the videos rivals some of the other full playthroughs combined in sheer length of recording. I think I have something like 90 hours now of raw footage, and I'm just finishing editing it all down. So if you would like to leave a comment or a like or something else, it does help out the channel immensely, since these videos do actively harm the channel if they don't get enough attention and enough interaction, because that's just how YouTube likes to work. So although these things were annoying, it was a lot of effort and a lot of fun, and I really do hope you've enjoyed it. That is, the message was annoying, not the video. Hope you enjoyed the video. Goodbye. I'm gonna go and get some sleep now. Stammering every word. Goodbye. So it was fantastic reading all the different comments about the servile trait, if it's ethical to keep it or should we remove it, and ultimately it seemed to split people pretty much 50-50, and one major theme I kept on seeing, which was actually something I never really considered, is that the main problem with this dilemma is we can't give the mouth lads a choice. If we could give them a choice, then everything would be fine, but there's the main problem. We are intervening as the Blorg. We are a species which never had this trait, we never had to deal with this, and we're not really in their shoes, so we have to choose for them, which of course is the problem, and I'm assuming that plants have shoes now. And now I'm imagining them with shoes, and everything's gone weird. Ultimately, the happiness of the people overall is the main goal of this empire, to treat everyone equally and to try and get 100% happiness for every single citizen. Now, of course, that is the problem here. We can give them happiness, or we can give them permanent equality. We can't really give them both in our current state, because currently they're not at 100% happiness. If they were 100% happiness everywhere, then I would consider it. Now, there's some getting close in the 90%, but of course that's with serviles. So what I think my goal is now, is to try and get both, try and get the best of both worlds. I want to give them utopian abundance, and then remove the servile trait, giving them the ability to be completely equal with the Blorg. Until then, though, until we have the economy to do that, what I'm going to do is change them slightly. They're no longer going to be robust, they're going to be industrious and ingenious, giving them a bit more power in their current positions, at least making them better at their current job is what I'm saying there. Not exactly the step forward I wanted it to be, but there we are, and that is going to that. As soon as we have the economy, I will be making them equal to us in every way, because their happiness will no longer be an issue. That's the problem. Pure equality and pure happiness, it's difficult to get both currently in the game. But eventually I will be there. I've also been reconsidering the robust trait on the Blorg. I think I will keep it because I am using them as such general workers. They are pretty much doing every single job. And the plus 5% I do actually really like. But the problem is the habitability is utterly useless now because we're on Gaia worlds and Ring worlds. But we don't have many trait points. Now of course we could not have the negatives. Things like extra tech, charismatic, all that kind of stuff, I might end up swapping them out later on. I do love robust, but a lot of people have been pointing out it's not the best trait, especially right now, and I am slowly agreeing. Oh well, for now, we continue, and hopefully we'll be ready when the crisis arrives. How many alloys can I currently buy? Actually, what I need to do is start selling food directly to people. Would you like to buy food? Because right now the problem is my food sells for the absolute minimum. Nope, you don't care about food. Oh, you do like the monthly trade, though. Okay, that's what I wanted to say. So, if we gave you, let's say, 500 food per month, would you perhaps give us 500 energy per month? Not quite. That's because you don't have the money for it. Yeah, this is something I need to do as well. I'm not normally a trader when it comes to stuff like this, so I'm not really used to doing manual trades like this rather than just going with the Galactic market. But that is... okay, that is insanely good. So just to show how good that is, and let's max the deal out. Get every little bit we can. Lovely. So just to show how good that is, currently, 10,000 food is only going for 1,804 energy. Yeah, our food is worth almost 1 energy for 10 food. Okay, so hopefully in the month then I'll update. There we go. Yeah, so what we need to do is stop these auto trades. And then do manual trades of all of our allies. We will feed the galaxy. One last thing about the Serviles, that our empire wants to live a peaceful farming life, just nice and straightforward, avoiding large-scale urbanization, even though we have gone down the Galactic route of completely going with the industrial development, purely because it doesn't actually affect our worlds. It just gives us bonuses for the jobs we have, so less people need to be in that position. Our Serviles are pretty much getting the life which the Blorg idealize. They work in the simple districts, they don't do all the specialist jobs, the industrial jobs, most of them are farmers. So I can see the Blorg thinking they are doing the ultimate kindness. If that is truly the right thing, that's obviously up for debate, but just from the perspective of the Blorg. They are sacrificing so the mouth lads can have more than they have, in their eyes. Again, if that is true or not, up for debate. Wow, I really should have gone down the route of trading before. So, as you can see here, what I'm doing is trading food for alloys. Okay, so how many will you be willing to trade? It's amazing that they want food so much. Since they probably don't need this much. Okay, that's fine. Now we'll just take back food until it's equal. There we go. Just to make sure, because occasionally the numbers can change just before they accept, and then it gets declined. Perfect. I'll try deal with you. Next. I keep on doing that. There we go. Monthly trade, maximum. You will give quite a lot of energy for that. How about consumer goods? Nope. Now some alloys? I'd rather have fewer deals. Lovely. So we are now just shy of 2,000 alloys gained per month. We are trading food for the weapons of peace. Putting down a new Ringworld site. Now we do need to finish off the coordination center at some point, but yeah, Ringworlds right now are definitely the most important thing to me.
Transmission incoming. Discourse anticipated.
Why have I not gathered the rare resource around here? Excuse me, lad, please grab those. Must have only just got the tech recently. I always end up like this, because when I get dark matter and such, I always end up just leaving it because I get it so light. Grab that as well. Well, this is interesting. We are now at war with the Vestige, because they want to decontaminate the borders. The thing is, they're weaker than us. You dare attack our allies? That is so dumb of you. Now here's something interesting I've just found. I can conquer them. Normally I can't do that because, you know, we're pacifists. The problem is we don't have enough influence to really make any claims, but we can do that later. Okay, so currently the capital is claimed by one of our allies. That's a shame because, well, the capital is very powerful. It has the core and boundary, which obviously I want very much. Do they have any other unique worlds at all? No, they're all just small regular worlds, aren't they? That's a shame. Well, on the upside, though, this is a way for us to get the Fallen Empire tech. I don't think there's any other way for us to do that, honestly. So, okay, fleets move in. We will help out our allies. They wish to kill them, and obviously we will defend them. Also, something else I just found out. Don't make trades with other empires if it's really close to their limits. Because as soon as they lose a little bit of energy or something, it gets auto-cancelled. So, going to do the same again, but this time, scale back a fair bit. So, yeah, actually more trade deals is better. Have them with multiple empires and don't trade their entire stock of energy. They'll accept that, but the second they lose energy, you lose the deal. Balance in the middle has now passed, meaning that basic subsistence, stratified economy, decent conditions, and academic privilege living standards are now banned. Owned populations of all types is also banned. This is giving us plus 5% to worker happiness, more worker political power, less empire sprawl from pops, which is lovely, less housing usage, and yeah, just overall, it's fantastic for us. As soon as we have the influence, we will be putting forward this universal prosperity mandate. Will also be a bit of a delay, sadly. This will be really good for us, since this is the final version of this, and will make our workers really, really happy, and give us far more political power from them, and plus 5 stability to all of our worlds. Most of our worlds are already pretty darn stable, but that will help out as well. Okay, attacking the first system. That's going to be a lot of strikecraft. This system is actually their home system. Just happens to be the closest to us. There we are. Now, of course, sadly, we won't get this for ourselves, but if we just sit here, they're not going to be able to get back and defend it. Especially since now their station's under our control. Making some more ground forces and moving our ground forces from over here finally back to our home system. Oh, I actually got there. Fantastic. Move there. If we can give this to our allies, that'll give them a huge boost, which is good for us ultimately. And we can research some tech. Since we are so peaceful, even when we bombard the planet, we are somewhat careful. We can only have selective bombardment, which means we only target military installations and nothing else. So we're going to slowly wear away their ground forces. So we lose less lives on our side as well. We are bringing peace to this world through orbital bombardment. This is going to take a long time to weaken their ground forces. Selective bombardment is very, very slow and careful. And now the Chim Assembly is having a machine uprising. Of determined exterminators. Of course it is. That is actually a problem. Yeah, that is a serious problem. We are going to need to have to go there to help out, aren't we? Yes, we are. Okay, so, are we strong enough to deal with them if we sacrifice a couple of fleets to move out? Yes, we are. Okay. So, you go down here. There's a wormhole. How have I not explored that wormhole? But either way, there should be a wormhole which should take us here, right? Yes, and it's there. Okay, good. Oh, gateway. Fantastic. Yep, we can use the gateway. And then move on down. This is going to be really annoying. But first, can you figure out where this wormhole goes, please? How have I not explored this? If we're really lucky, it means it'll go straight to here-ish. Using up all of our alloys currently to make up more and more fleet power. Oh, yeah, I forgot I was doing that. Okay, so the Relic World is now a city world, our only city world, since it's well, it was already devoid of the ability to farm or anything else. It's just an upgraded version of what it is. And with that, we can start pumping out loads of consumer goods here. Okay, the wormhole goes there. Perfect. Okay, never mind. Units go to the wormhole, which you already were. Good. I've decided I'm going to be changing up some of our edicts. No longer are we going to have research subsidies, which is going to hurt, minus 10% research now that this is deactivated, but instead we're going to have nutritional plenitude. It is the fundamental right of each of our citizens to enter hibernation with a full digestive organ. Easy access to plentiful, nutritional fare will be the fuel that spurs our growth amongst the stars. Plus 5% happiness and plus 10% growth speed. At the cost of 25% upkeep and plus 10% empire sprawl from populations. Aha! The ring world, the new ring world is ready to begin.
Construction complete.
Fantastic.
Construction complete.
Is our fleet over here yet? Soon. Which is good because they can just about handle it themselves if they stack up, and I don't trust the AI to do that. There's like one killer fleet over here. Thankfully, their tech is actually fairly poor. They're just stupidly high in number. 33 battleships. Wait, 33 battleships? Let me see that fleet. 33 battleships I can talk. That's not right. I'm fairly certain that fleet isn't allowed. Wow. Also, green with the avian ships looks awesome. There's the avian ship, right? Wow. Seriously, though, I really, really like those. But yeah, their fleets are actually equal strength to ours, but it's made up of weaker units. And generally, what will win out is the more higher quality units in fights like that. Okay, over here we're still holding, just slowly taking out the military of these planets. Eventually, we'll be able to help out and land our forces. Though it is going to take a while. Well, I missed that fight, but it seems like we're just about going to win. Also, I thought that was a more balanced fleet. Apparently, nope, I accidentally sent in just a pure battleship fleet. Still got the job done. So 2 groups were destroyed there, okay. Does that mean their main fleet's still out there somewhere? I think it probably does. Yep, there it is. Okay, go there, and let's chase after it and try and start regaining territory for them. Oh, seems like they grabbed some of our systems at one point as well. That's not the best. Sending in 1 fleet of battleships to replace another fleet which I'm moving away to help out with the uprising. Turns out I massively underestimated them, and if I keep just this fleet alone, it's going to be destroyed. So I'm just going to use this to try and take out stations and just keep them from attacking everything. Seems like they're going back on themselves, at least. And versus the Fallen Empire, a battleship spam fleet is nowhere near as bad, because they have far less numbers and we can focus fire on them. Yes, I know a second ago I said, oh, it's good if you have a higher quality but smaller amount of ships. Yeah, but not when they're battleships. I mean, the strike craft are great versus the corvettes and everything, but their main damage is their X-size weapon. Aha! And we have our Juggernaut, which will be used solely versus the Scourge, since this thing will be upgrading our range. No, it's going to be upgrading our strike craft, right? Yes, also I forgot to upgrade its weaponry. Not that's really such a big deal on this thing, honestly, and soon I'll have to change it anyway, since I am getting the Fallen Empire tech. I can't see their fleet. Where's their large fleet gone? My two fleets are here, and we're ready to basically attack them, but they've vanished. Did the Allies actually manage to deal with them? Doesn't look like it. Oh, I think I know what's happened. Earlier on, we saw it happen briefly, at least I saw it happen very briefly, with the enemy's fleet power fluctuating. Essentially, they didn't have the economy to keep up with everything, especially since most of their worlds have already been taken back. So I think they've just lost their fleet, since they didn't have enough resources to keep them going for very long. Oh, I could have just waited for it to burn out. Yeah, I honestly can't tell where they've gone. I think I've lost the system. Did they always have that system? Maybe they did. Well, in that case, just clear up and then go home. Right now, our energy reserves are kind of suffering. It's because we have a fleet which is past our navy capacity, which is obviously a problem. So what I'm doing now is building some fortresses, and maybe I can start building our fortress habitats to stop the Scourge. So any choke points I can find, start putting them down. Still waiting for them to arrive. They are being very generous of how slowly they're getting here. Ground forces finally ready to take out these worlds. Give them to our allies. I mean, it's really their fault for attacking first, isn't it? I've decided the Xenomorphs are a little bit inhumane since they have such high collateral damage, so I'm now mostly using modified troopers. These are our Gene Warriors, made up of both the Mouth Lads and the Blorg fighting side by side. Far less collateral damage. How long until I can put up this? Over 500 days. Okay, well, time to build another habitat. Again, though, I have no idea where to place these. What we could do is put down a habitat here. This is going to be an amazing choke point, almost guaranteed. The only reason why we haven't done that is because the enemy might attack us. The enemy, the Fallen Empire, might attack us. Well, they're going to be doing that anyway with our allies, so we may as well get in on the action as well. So I'll start putting down some fortresses here, and that'll block off loads of this section of the galaxy. The next one, I'm assuming, should really go near this wormhole, probably here. That way, if they use the wormhole and a lot of this territory will be blocked off, then one here as well. And that successfully blocks off a huge chunk. So there's the first three we're going to put down.
Scientific progress attained.
We of course need these fortresses as well, since I want to raise my navy capacity, and there's very few ways to do that now, since I am already capped out for our star bases. And the tech is fairly expensive. And I'm not very tech heavy still. Okay, the problem is, this system is terrible. Fortresses, because there's only one world we can actually place one. Oh, there's two. That is not enough. How about over here? I'm really hoping this is good. Oh my god, this world is amazing. By world, I mean system. So that is going to be the ultimate point. This is going to be annoying, though, because these worlds are all just going to be devoured. Guess I could do a double fortress. One here, one here. How are these systems? Rubbish. And potentially not great. Okay, so for now, then, let's pop one down here, since that does block off this area as well. In fact, it blocks off both, so it is definitely the most important one to set up. I was considering opening up the L gates, since I would love some more rare resources, but honestly, I don't want even more points that the Scourge can use to get around. Okay, after this, that's all of their systems taken, and all that remains is for our allies to take back their own worlds, which we'll let them do. I think that didn't end up with them grabbing anything. I'm hoping not. The Commonwealth's not the only empire which doesn't really like us. I mean, outside the Fallen Empires and the Uprising, but don't really count those. Excellent. The Confederation over here finally has accepted association status. Now, it's going to take a long time before they join the Federation, since they really hate some of the other empires, but at least they're now associated with us. I really want to do some more of these options in the future, so I'm definitely going to focus more on the Galactic community again, because it's been loads of fun in this run. And I'm thinking of building a mega church. So going down Divinity of Life, and also going for glorious capitalism. Which would be this one here. People are going to be very unhappy, unless Divinity of Life gives happiness as well eventually. No. Yes, it does. Excellent. It cancels out. Wonderful. But for now, we continue with the true path of the Republic. And we are done. Those over there are just marauders, so I'm just going to ignore those. Fantastic. Well, we're accidentally killing the Stellar Devourer. Oh, probably going to lose a destroyer here. Or will we? Maybe not. Do I have any scientists nearby? Oh, it's right in our territory. I thought it was much further away. A federation has been formed once again, but now at least they have more our ideals. A federation of our friends. No longer militarist.
Striking at
Okay.
the lair of the oppressor. Special inquiry concluded.
I would love that extra influence, I'm afraid. As much as I would like to go down the route of reigniting that star, yeah, really want the influence. So that straight away we can do this. Oh my god, this system's awful as well. Why are there only bad systems? It's a shame I can't take that for myself. My ally's gonna get it. Still though, it's just too much of a perfect location. The Commonwealth is becoming isolated from the other empires. We all see and denounce you. So apparently they didn't lose their main fleet. I didn't even see it, but yep, we just lost our fleet to it. Destroyed most of theirs though. 17 battleships, 32 cruisers, 60 corvettes, 57 destroyers. I've decided I'm going to be a bit sneaky. We're waiting 10 more years before we put down Universal Prosperity Mandate. The reason is I forgot about one thing. The Galactic Council can veto. I've just seen it happen with one of the other council members. So if the other one uses their ability, there's a long cooldown, then I will put it through. But right now, I know at least one of them can veto. And this is a really, really unpopular resolution. Because it essentially breaks most of the other empires. They are all going to be forced to start to think and act like us, and they don't want to. They don't want to treat their people to the level we treat them, in the way we treat them, so they're not going to be happy with this in the slightest, as much as I really, really, really want this. So I'm going to wait 10 years, and then my emergency measure will come off cooldown, so I can put it straight to the Senate, and then I can just overwhelm the other empires with superior diplomatic power. There is now peace over here, finally, and the homeworlds of the Fallen Empire now belong to our ally, which is great news. All of our fleets are now moving back and are going to dock over here on our main starbase. Like, all these are kind of just blobbing up over here, so they're going to be far cheaper. Sending over any unemployed populations to the ring worlds to live a better life. And this will also allow us to have the planetary administration completely online as soon as possible. The forced relocation of populations is the one truly non-egalitarian thing we're doing. We don't care where you want to live. You live where you can best serve the whole. Or something. Oh, this is so irritating. So now the other Fallen Empire has declared war. I don't even know why, honestly. I think it's just to humiliate. Yeah, but why? What have they done? What have they done to you? What have they done to your people? I have no idea. They haven't claimed any of the Gaia worlds, right? Since you're the Holy Guardians. There's one of the... Actually, I can't see any of the Gaia worlds. Yep, there's a good chance they're in one of them. But then it wouldn't be to humiliate, it would be to grab the world back, right? I'm probably not going to help out all that much with this one. Since we're not going to lose worlds or anything from this. I do need my fleet to be in position for the oncoming threat, and I've already helped out with this. Okay, it's only 10k, you can deal with that. Unless you're heading towards my territory, in which case, nope, good. I'm not being the best friend ever, am I, right now? Okay, so our new battleships are going to be, of course, using the dark matter reactors and the dark matter thrusters. Going to be keeping his artillery, and now I've swapped over to the Guardian point defense from the flak. The reason is now we are massively outscaling kinetic damage with energy damage. Flak is obviously better against Strikecraft, which is a big deal versus the Scourge, but the sheer difference in damage now is going to be a big deal. They're saying that the tracking difference is insane there. And Strikecraft tend to be far more dodgy, as you can imagine. Yeah, evasion is 80%. What is it for missiles? Evasion is 0%. Yeah, as you can see, the whole point is the tracking difference. Maybe doing something like this. Guaranteed hits versus more powerful hits. I mean, these are going to just nullify the Scourge missiles. Maybe. Current positions for our fortress habitats. One over here. One's going down here. One's going down there. And that's completely cutting off all of this bottom section. One is going here, which is cutting off most of this. Remember, they can only spawn on the edge, so really we need one over here as well. One is going down here. These two will actually cut off everything except for this wormhole, so I was put one on the wormhole itself. That way I don't have to think about that. And then one, of course, is going here. Where are the Scourge? I think this may be the longest I've ever seen it take for it to go from the coming storm to actually being here. So here's a question. Did I make a mistake by activating nutritional plentitude? Maybe I did. The reason is, although it's really good, there are alternatives, including greater than ourselves, which will allow our people to move automatically to new worlds. And that would mean I could go ahead with policies and disallow resettlement, which would make our factions a lot happier, thus giving us more influence every month, and I wouldn't have to constantly spend energy and micromanage. Still think the population growth is probably for the best, though. Just about. Population growth and happiness. The matter decompressor is now only one off being finished. So the question is, do I finish this off, or do I just put more effort into our ring worlds, which will eventually be just hubs of science and unlimited resource? Lots and lots of energy being created, or I could save up some influence and just build a Dyson Sphere, which we definitely need. However, the Dyson Sphere also takes some influence, and right now I do need to build our fortresses up. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go with this. Having all these extra minerals, we can start making trade deals with other empires. Though, I do love the ring world. You know what, I don't think I should, but I'm just going to build the ring world. Okay, so this is the start of the robot uprising, I believe, if we mess this up. We obviously don't want a machine uprising, which is interesting, though, because we don't actually have the synth tech. Our robots are still just droids. They're still fairly rudimentary. But apparently, they are asking us something quite important. Labourer Overseers on Gasworld. Apparently I messed up the spelling there, of Gasworld. That's the world where we get more and more gas production, the more population we have. That is why I have so many machines there, because I'm trying to buff up the population. Whoops-a-daisy. Report a disturbing development amongst our robotic workforce. 2 weeks ago at roughly 0300 hours, robotic worker A5091B paused in the middle of its designated task, approached a Gaswell night shift foreman and uttered the following query. Is Unit A5091B in possession of a soul? Then it was logged as a glitch, but it kept on happening even after we tried to fix it, and apparently it spread to all of the other machines. So we have two options. This is ridiculous. How can a machine have a soul? We refuse to dignify this malfunction with an answer, or assure the robots they too have souls. If a haphazard collection of electronic impulses running through protein strands can create a soul, why not a collection of electronic impulses running through metal? How would this Empire respond? I think almost 100% they would assure them they have souls. If they acted sapiens, we would uplift them to the same status as all the other species. This will make them happy. If they are now able to be happy, we want them to be happy. That's the whole problem with the removing of the serviles. Because they're happier in their current state, that was the whole dilemma. So, yeah. Okay, so apparently all of our machines are a bit more efficient right now, so we have for 10 years, we have resources from jobs plus 5%. Well done to the machines. So does that change anything with how we're treating them? They're still in servitude. I mean, we can't give them anything else. Like I say, they're only droids. They're not synths. Policies. You know what? Sure. If we have any AI, give it artificial intelligence citizen rights. Sure. Oh, now the droids have full citizenship. Does that mean they're now costing us consumer goods? Even though they're just droids, we definitely don't have the tech, do we? I am almost certain we do not have the tech. I'm sure I saw it recently and I denied it. No, it would have been recent as well. It's one of the dangerous tech, so it stands out a bit. Not that I can see. Yep, there's robotic workers. It's in order of when you get them, I think, right? Yeah, so it would have been really recent if I did get it, and I didn't, so... I did not know, honestly. I just didn't know that droids could even be given that status. It seems like despite the fact they have shared burdens, they're not actually costing consumer goods. Also, I really should upgrade our robots, considering I am building... Oh, we have upgraded one set of them. Mass-produced and recycled. Cheap, and we get lots of them, since we only really want them there just to increase our numbers. Yep, there we go, synthetics. Might as well grab it now, honestly. I think that's what the Empire would do after seeing all that. In the meantime, more ring worlds. Finally, the breach point has been identified, and it is right here. Not really the best position for us, honestly. We have... Okay, on the upside, this system here is really good, and that's the closest? No, it really isn't. We are thankfully quite far away, despite the fact it looks so close, and they will be attacking the non-Federation members first. So we need to make sure this is fortified fully, this is fortified, and this is fortified. Okay, good to know. Senate is about to complete, though, and I really, really want to finally finish off the greater good. I keep on talking about it, and I want this finished. Well, now I'm nervous anyway. Is anyone else building habitats here? Stop it. We don't need that on there. One here would still be good, so feel free to fortify there. Let's build our very first one over here then instead. And just make sure that this is still likely to be the first. Yeah, that's still likely to be the first one, so... all of these are going to be forts. The next one, well, it'll be both of these shared, won't it? Yeah. You know what? I said this might not be the best position for us, but actually it might be. Anywhere else, it would be in Federation spec. Yeah, we got really lucky. Down here wouldn't have been too bad. We only have 2, 3 worlds. Oh no, we have loads of worlds. Never mind, we got really lucky. The galaxy is giving us happiness. Because we have gave the people happiness. Because we are happiness. My mind is fine. I haven't been recording for too long. The Blob Boys are here. Maybe. Blob Boys? There's the blob boys. We can't actually see them though. I think this is the first playthrough I have really wanted one of these sensor arrays. Normally I don't really care about them, but I keep on missing things. So if we get really unlucky, they could rush directly towards us. We're just going to assume they won't. We need more influence. Was this worth it? Yes, it was. Because this will allow us to redistribute excess wealth for the betterment of all. And it even makes sense. Hello. No! Who opened the L-gate? On the upside, friendly L-gate. These are the fellas that only get aggressive if you go right here. Which we're not gonna do, obviously, but the problem is now the L-gates, like this one, are suddenly active, which means they can... The Scourge could use the L-gates to get around. Oh, please there's no L-gates in your territory. Doesn't seem like too many. Wait, are you a human? Huh. From Sol, you have gained dominance over this galaxy, over this empire. Well done. Somewhat worrying. No, there's not many L-gates. Don't be an L-gate. Just normal gateway. Fan-bloody-tastic. Okay, so the only L-gate really is here. Do we have any L-gates in our territory, which I'm suddenly going to be really scared about? Yeah, we do. Bugger. Bugger and blast. In that case, we need to start putting down gateways here. Oh, that's good. There is no way we can put habitats down, rather. So, here and here, and here. Well, here and here, and sacrifice this world, I guess. Whoever did that, I don't like you. I'm just really hoping that this was worth the influence. It just makes so much sense, though. With the universal prosperity mandate in effect, it also makes sense with our ringworld suddenly being commercial ringworld, since it's all about the redistribution of excess wealth. So suddenly wealth is going to help out everyone. Even more so. At least that's how the Empire's going to see it. The question is... how long until I need to build Dyson Sphere? Eventually, these are going to produce a lot of energy. A lot of energy and a lot of everything else. But it's going to take a long time before they're at that state, so... I think the next time I have enough influence, I'm just going to start building the Dyson Sphere. Oh, do you need help, do you? Shame that. Just realised I need to start double-checking all the different hyperlanes, because what I could have done is put the habitats over here instead. There's more worlds, and it's in a better position to block from here. This way I am going to lose the system, and it's also allowing them access to these two of our friends. This would block them completely off that. Doesn't really matter in the end, this will still completely block them off from our territory, but yeah, that would have been better. Okay, started to double check for other weaknesses, and yeah, we have a wormhole here as well. So this wormhole goes to our territory and goes right here. 1, 2, 3. Thankfully, this won't be bad to defend. Yeah, we can put down loads of fortresses there quite easily. Sadly, all these worlds are about to be destroyed by the ring world. And this wormhole's quite out of the way. It's going to be quite well for them to reach, so that's fine. We just need more influence. Here's wishing this was cheaper. So funnily enough, right now, although they are sitting very powerfully at like 4 mil per fleet, I do believe that my fleets combined could take out one of their medium fleets like this. The reason is we really hard counter them. As we've learnt in previous 4 playthroughs now, the times 25 difficulty Scourge have one major weakness. They don't have increased fire rate, well, they have a little bit but not much, and their strike craft and missiles don't have increased health over the normal Scourge, which means you can remove all of these strikers, so all they have left is the acid blasts. Now, the acid blasts are still deadly at plus 3,750% damage, but it's a lot of the damage removed. So yeah, they're 4 million fleet power, but all of this is negated. And then with the smaller ones, the missiles are negated, so as you can see, lots of their damage suddenly stops being an issue. It's just a matter of burning them down before their acid blasts burn you away. But I'm still not going to move my fleets in. We could start to prevent their movement and everything else, but at the moment, we don't really have the energy to have our fleets moving out. We will soon, as you can see now, we're finally under 1,000 energy being lost a month. But also, we're going to take losses. Every time we take losses, it's going to become more and more of a problem. So we need our fleets here, ready for when they arrive here. Or wherever they end up getting to first. Because then we can deflect 1 or 2 fleets before they do any damage. I am actually confident we're going to win this. Unlike last time, because I've now fought the Scourge before, I kind of know what I'm doing, and we have the ring worlds down, we have everything else. All that's really holding us back is influence. And time.
Together we will build a brighter future.
Well, it finally managed to pass, thanks to our overwhelming diplomatic might. So now the greater good is finished and we have universal prosperity mandate. All living standards other than shared burdens, utopian abundance, chemical bliss, or mandatory pampering are banned. Assimilating organics into driven, assimilate, or hive mind empires is banned. Empires that are not egalitarian or rogue servitors may be unable to meet the requirements and will be in breach of galactic law. Now currently I don't think there's actually any sanctions active is the funny thing. Is this one active, does it say? Well, we could make the other empires weaker, but honestly we don't really need all that much stuff. But yeah, we could now force through some of these sanctions, and then pretty much every empire which doesn't adhere to egalitarian rule will end up being harmed because of it. And likely that'll push them into our way of thinking. Now with the modifiers, there's a lot of stuff there which we obviously really like. So what's changed then from the last level? More worker political power, which is fine for us. More stability on every single planet. Less resource storage capacity, which is fine. More diplomatic weight from pops, so I've just became even more powerful. And the rest of the stuff has stayed pretty much the same. But the extra stability is fantastic, as is the extra diplomatic weight. Most of our planets are incredibly stable. Some of them are suffering from immunities. I am going to be changing more of our species into charismatic soon, so that's not going to be a problem for very long. Well, this is all you double check everything. So we do have more L-gates in our territory, so this is going to be a concern. What I should really do then is probably reinforce this. We can make them hostile to us and then simply destroy this area and then take it for ourselves. That way we're not declaring war. The problem is, a FTL inhibitor here won't stop people from being able to use the L-gate. Once they're in here, I believe they can still jump back out, so Scourge can still use this to jump around. Oh look, totally friendly nanite craft, which totally aren't nanites, by the way. And look, real Gaia worlds that totally aren't nanite worlds. We believe you. I am tempted to do that though. Taking over this would give us loads more worlds and loads more rare resources, which would be fantastic. It wouldn't take much firepower either to defeat them. Well, here goes nothing. Moving our fleet into the restricted system, which will cause them to attack us, I believe. There we go. Blorg! It sounds like an insult, doesn't it? Your ships have entered the system. A star system in the L cluster that is off limits to all non-Disanu. We must insist that you withdraw from the system immediately. Fail to do so in a timely manner would seriously compromise our relationship. We go where we please. Insolent monoform.
Enemy station engaged.
There we go. And of course, the reason why they call us monoform is because they are actually nanites. Oh, boy, they have a lot of fleet power in this system I did not realise. Well, we're gonna win this war, but, sorry, the war overall, yeah. But this battle over here will go fine, since we have multiple fleets and everything else, but yeah. And a lot of their damage comes from strike craft, which we are countering, because of the Scourge. This system will belong to us. Do we have to land on these worlds? I thought they instantly revealed themselves to be fake worlds. In that case, we do need to start landing. Yeah, we lost the fight over here. That was fairly obvious. They were a lot stronger than I thought they were. For some reason, I thought they'd be on line with something like the Grey Tempest, but no, they are far stronger. We have quite a while before the Scourge reaches us, and honestly, fortifying this area is probably in our best interests. Best interest, rather. It'd be amazing if they actually stayed as Gaia worlds, but I don't think that's what happens. Yep, there we go. Turns to dust.
Planetary worksite established.
But I believe once we take out the rest of the nanites, we will gain access to these worlds. I wonder if we take out the main system, will we instantly turn all the worlds back into the nanite worlds? Maybe. Okay, you three. Do that.
Transmission incoming. Discourse anticipated.
Yeah, it seems like we do count on them quite well. Okay, you stay there until reinforcements arrive just to defend the L gate so they can't get out and attack us. You move into position to attack their home system. Strikecraft by the thousands. So, because of everything going on, empires are now more willing to join federations. So the Commonwealth, which is weird, has just accepted our association status. Well, it will in a second. I've just offered it, and it will accept. But also, it will accept an invitation to the Federation. The same goes for the Confederation over here. The Confederation will join the Federation. That's not going to get confusing for me at all. Okay, all fleets ready. Got science vessels, currently dealing with debris, but we'll end up dealing with everything else in a second. The L gate will be ours. It's a shame we can't stop the Scourge from getting to this L gate here. It's the first L gate we'll get access to. I wish I just owned a little bit of territory here. Try to taking out the home system here. Especially this thing. The factory. This is where all the nanites were originally made. At least I believe that's a law here anyway. Yeah, we're definitely going to win this. Their strike craft won't be able to really touch us all. There we go. Feel free to read this if you wish. Oh, I really should have spoke to them and got all the options. Sorry about that, but I've seen it so many times I just kind of breezed through it. There we go. So, what we need to do really is get some more scientists here. Stop with the whole debris thing and just make sure the system is surveyed. Like that. Okay, I guess all fleets should really return home. I'll keep one, but actually no, yeah, just completely return home. On the way home, I finally decided to help out in the war we're currently embroiled in.
Together we will build a brighter future.
Ideally, we can force status quo. I mean, right now they can accept status quo, but I can't ask them to do that, which is really irritating. So I'm sending in my fleets here to start dealing some damage. This is, of course, with the fallen empire of the spiritualists. Come on, hurry up. There's 3 of you there now. The first system is now under our control. Now, one problem is, some of these worlds have nanites, so I have to decide between nanites or a habitable world. Now, I'm not 100% sure what happens when you do terraform these worlds. Do they completely lose the nanites? I'm assuming so, but for science, I'm going to go ahead and do that. So, with these worlds, you can't transform them straight into Gaia worlds, but you can turn them into Arctic worlds or whatever you want. So that's exactly what I'm doing. Okay, you move over there. You should be done soon. And new scientist is here, so survey, survey, survey. And then you can start doing research on the debris. In fact, you can just start now. So, apparently one of the debris is finished. We just get... Oh, we actually don't get anything particularly useful. Okay, for some reason I thought we'd get something more nanite related. Nope, just regenerative hull tissue, which I'm not particularly interested in. The Scourge are expanding very quickly. Not quite sure where they are right now. It seems like they're kind of just attacking over here. Oh, they killed the traders. This is actually the way I don't want them to go, because this is my least fortified area. We have... None? Oh, yeah, we have our fortifications here, don't we? Oh, darn it. Okay, so that's several worlds we might end up losing. Of course, we can just move the populations over to the ring worlds. We won't actually lose all that much. It's just more annoying than anything. And we are getting new worlds. So these 3 worlds now have been terraformed from nanite worlds over to arctic worlds, and each of them have a rare resource. This one has crystal, this one has motes, I believe, yep, and this one has the gas. So I'm hoping they all have rare resources, because that'll be lovely. Nice and cheap and easy. And there are lots of worlds. Ecological protection. Now, this does go against some of our industrialization, but remember, we are turning our worlds into Gaia worlds, which actually negates all of the negatives of this. So I think this would actually make sense for us. We still want this. We are still an agrarian society. We still love the simple life. That's what our goal is, to allow as many people to live that ideal life as possible by making everything else more efficient. So should I accept some of these? I think yes, up until this point. When it becomes a bit more extreme and then starts hurting everything else. Yeah, I think I will allow these until the Environmental Control Board. So, recycling initiatives, that's good. Natural sanctuaries, that's good as well. Less amenities usage is great. Less consumer goods is also great. That is consumer goods upkeep. And extra food and extra habitability, sure. Don't mind that either, at the cost of planetary build speed, that's not really a big deal. The negative diplomatic weight from economy is a little bit annoying, since our economy is one of our strongest things, but I think we would sacrifice that. Sure, I will support this. Whilst the war's going on with the Fallen Empire, I'm going to sneakily grab the system and take over one of their Gaia worlds. It'll be put to much better use under our control.
Discourse anticipated.
We could try and block off the Scourge and keep them as pets eventually, on a side note. My thought is, once I take over this area here, what we could do, actually we could do it now, is grab this system, put down our fortresses, and then that'll hold them off completely from this direction. Then we'd do the same over here somewhere. I'm sure there's a choke point. Yeah, we could push them back, let's say to here. Then they're stuck.
Our research has progressed.
To wipe them out completely, or to keep them as a friendly reminder to the rest of the galaxy that our way is the true way, and we are keeping them because they are living beings, they are clearly an entity of intelligence. And if any of them want to step out of line, we could always release them on the galaxy. The war is over, due to forced status quo by the enemy. We gained a little bit of territory for our allies, and we massively damaged their fleets. Overall, not bad. Not sure what the Scourge is really doing. Oh, it's attacked here. Okay, it's just out of our scanner range. That makes sense. For a second, I forgot the Republic isn't part of our Federation, so we can't see their sensors. And I thought, oh, it's just nothing here. No, they're clearly in this area right now and being very active. Just claiming all the territory they've already taken. We could invite you into our Federation. How about you? Sure. Excellent. Welcome to the Federation. Same with you. They're saying that you're about to be destroyed. Though it would be nice to see what's going on there. But you've been so mean to me this entire playthrough. You know what? Nah. So our allies ended up... Oh, yep, they're all here. Either way, our allies ended up inviting them, and this looks like them. It seems to be the enemy are being really weird. Why are you not taking these systems? Oh, you're not taking the worlds. Okay. But yeah, it seems like this area over here is really in danger. Thankfully, I am making a new habitat here. I'll make a new habitat here as soon as I have the influence. Which we need to do fairly soon. Then we need to funnel some people there to man the fortresses. Attacking here as well. Oh, there's so many locations they can break through. Why must everything cost influence? So annoyingly, the sleepers awake. Yeah, oddly enough, not going to be able to get them into our Federation. How strong are they? 200k fleet there. Oh, they're nothing. Absolutely nothing. If they go to war with us, we'll crush them. Speaking of which, look at how many fleets we have now. I really want to push these back, and again, we can definitely, absolutely definitely beat even their larger fleets right now one-on-one, but we will take heavy losses, and we won't be able to hold a position. We need them to move out more. So right now, I am going more into tech. All new ring worlds are going to be tech-focused rather than the economy. Right now, our economy is doing fantastically. We are just shy of 2,000 alloys gained per year, despite the fact we're almost 1,000 over our navy capacity. We have all these worlds now, which we can turn into anything. Yeah, all ring worlds are now science. We're finally reaching that point where science is above all else. I keep on having to remind myself that the default end game year in this game, when the enemy can spawn in, is actually 2,450. We're still almost 100 years from that. This is still so early. We're doing well. Just, I would like more tech. Also, why does the Scourge keep on changing colour? I swear, every time I go into a system, there's a chance it'll change. Or when I start recording a new recording session, since already it was like 20 plus hours worth of footage here. Actually, 30 plus, wow. Stop changing colour! Or am I going mad? Maybe it's always been this colour. I'm sure it was like a brownish earlier. Like this colour was the main colour, the border. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Can this run stop being so annoying? Ancient rivals. Okay, so now this empire has also woke up. Yeah, they're never joining a federation with us. Of course they're not. Just lots and lots of no's. So what we might need to do is preemptively go to war with one of them to avoid a war in heaven. If a war in heaven happens, that can mess up everything. So, because I want to flex my fleet, everyone together, please go this way. We're going to go to war to end the threat of the reclaimers, since they are the xenophobes and they're more likely to randomly lash out. This is going to cost so much energy to get this fleet moving. Oh, that is so many numbers. Yep. Actually, only minus 1k. That is perfectly okay for us. We can sustain that just fine with our other bits of economy. I can't even claim systems. So all these systems are going to end up going to the Union and the Replicators. Still, as long as it prevents the war in heaven, which would be an absolute nightmare right now, definitely worth it. How strong are they? Oh, nowhere near us. Okay, yeah, we can just crush them now before we even wait for the rest of the fleets. Oh. Well. Good. Turns out the rest of the Federation don't want to declare war. That's a problem. I'm not a fan of this Federation. I think this is my least fun Federation I've had in ages. Just the standard Galactic Union is definitely the most boring. I mean, to be fair, it is the default. It's purposefully going to be a bit more boring than the others, because it's less specific, but my god, is it so much more boring than the others. Okay, fleet, return to base. Let's just hope that if a war in heaven happens, I don't end up losing all the different members of the Federation to one side or the other. Well, if that happens, I will happily crush them. You're a cyborg. Okay, so I've got a refugee, which is part cyborg. Ah, shame it's not classed as a half Borg. I think I could have implemented cyborg augments to all of that species. Wait. Cyborg psionic? Wait, if you're cyborg psionic, I can then alter you to also have the stronger traits, right? Whoa. Can I mix all three of the Ascensions? You are going to be the next species I put into any planet. Which is going to be a ring world, actually. Or one the habitat's down here. Interesting. Interesting indeed. I don't think I've ever had a species with all three. I've definitely had two of them. I mean, right now we have two of them in the form of the Rackets, which we have 610 of, which are psionic, and then have the genetic bonuses. The genetic unique ones, that is. Interesting. Very interesting. Ah, cannot be added. Not sure if I can spread that then to the others. So it is going to be you then. You are going to be the start of the ultimate workforce. So I've finally made a move. Now, annoyingly, we have been caught a little bit off guard, since we are still on our cooldown for our jump. So our main weapons are doing a lot less damage than usual, but I'm hoping we'll still be able to just outdo them because of sheer number, and the fact we are countering their main weapons. Yeah, it looks like we're going to lose quite a bit, mostly because of the lack of damage, but yet we crushed them nonetheless. How much did we lose? We lost 4 battleships there, I think it said. No, 4 destroyers, 6 destroyers, 9 corvettes, 3 cruisers, 3 battleships, 8 destroyers, 3 battleships. That was not bad. Okay. Can just call you Group 5. Please move there. Get ready to jump all together. Take that, and... oh, actually, what we could do is wait until I've properly took the system. Otherwise, I have to push them all the way back to here. That's my current plan, to try and get a foothold over here, so it's a bit less split up, and that way we can defend the L gate. I mean, ultimately, if I want to contain these rather than purely destroy them, which is more fun in my opinion, because it's a bit more difficult, what we're going to need to do is take out this system here. So take that for ourselves, then take this one for ourselves, and then probably here. So how are we going to hold this? Well, essentially it's going to be ships. We're not really going to be powerful enough to just go with star bases for pure defense, but what we're going to have is ships just sitting there, loads of fortress habitats to back them up in case things go wrong, and then just... we're going to become stronger and stronger. The Scourge will stagnate in this territory. Eventually we'll be strong enough to just consistently sit there and do nothing. Never fear, the Republic is here. Five battleships. No, 5 more destroyers. No battleships lost. Perfect. Stick together. Okay, they're heading towards us now, so you just stay put. You'll deal with those. And you'll move over here. Then you'll claim this system, and I'll jump one of my science vessels and construction vessels right in. So grab the system as soon as possible and start putting down our fortress worlds. Actually, maybe it would be better if I put it there, because the problem is, although it blocks that off, until I've blocked this off as well, they can just go around. No, ultimately that's the goal. I'm still not 100% sure if I am going to just permanently contain them or destroy them. I think really, for the good of the galaxy, destroying them so that they can no longer be a threat is probably the right thing to do. But I love the idea of containing them. The damage is already done, why destroy yet another species? They'll just sit here forever. And hopefully, eventually become less aggressive. Is probably the concept. No, destroying them is probably the best thing to do. But you know what? This is more fun. And more difficult. So, you know, fun. Fun. It's always a bit weird to see a Titan attack and it not actually kill something. I mean, come on, look at that thing! And then just swarms of strike craft. Ah, already an infested world, that's a shame. This isn't though. How close to being infested? Only 2 left. Didn't even realize I actually landed on this world as well. Okay, we need to move some ground force over here to start saving some of the populations. Could bombard this world. Not sure what to do here. There's too many enemies. We can't just keep on going after the enemies right now. We're not on cleanup duty. We're just trying to get this one system here. So I think for now, just push, grab that system before it gets any reinforcements. Okay, it's about to. In that case, make sure you all go together, please. No, you'll be there first. That's fine. You're there ready to jump. Gonna make you so you're passive so you don't run away every time you get attacked. Same with you. Okay, 2 fleets here. They're going both towards us. Okay, we need to back off.
Commencing workforce liberation.
You're welcome, by the way, commonality. So it turns out we're not claiming this area just yet. It is way too active. Just fleets absolutely everywhere. Managed to save these systems for now, but there are more ground forces on the way. It's gonna be difficult. Here's a question. What's better against the Scourge? The Swarm Strikers from the Scourge, or the regular strike craft? I'll check it out once I've got the tech. Oh, did we win? We won! Okay, and we won quite handily, yeah. No battleships. Excellent. Having the Juggernaut here really does help. The extra damage the Juggernaut's bringing by buffing up all our strike craft, when we have this many beautiful swarms, is very helpful. I think I might move my fleet back to here, so at least I've got this choke point secured. Or I might just bring them back to base for a while until I've got a few more. It's really hard to tell. Again, I really want this system here. This system is eventually going to be the choke point. That system and that system, that'll force them down this path. Then this system, or that system if we get there fast enough, and they are completely blocked off in this bit of territory. It's just going to be a while. Now we are moving over to tech. Our fleets are going to get stronger, so I can start splitting them up. We have an insane amount of ships. If we had this many ships in the last playthrough, where it went very tech-heavy near the end, we could have just utterly dominated in moments. So, just need stronger ships at this point. Or more of them. Hundreds more. Yep, already having to jump. Oh dear. Yes, the fleet still jumped even though combat started. Fantastic. Because this fleet, yeah, was just about to jump in as well. I think I honestly could take 2 fleets at once, but I'm not going to risk it. Again, there's no point in taking losses at the moment when I can't do anything permanent. Once in a while, I will send this group out. They are saved currently on the hotbar, just to do a bit of damage, but ultimately, I do have to wait. Just to be safe, there's no point in losing that many ships. Now, the Scourge missiles are glorious versus the Scourge. Extra armor damage and extra hull damage. It makes them better than all the other missiles, I think. Let's take a quick look at that. So, yeah, the regular torpedoes do less damage per second and don't have that bonus. Well, have the armor bonus but not the hull, and then the Marauder missiles, less damage, and only the hull, no armor. So to kill the Scourge, the missiles are a very good option, to say the least. The problem is you haven't put any points into them, because, well, up until you get the Scourge missiles, I prefer strikecraft and energy weapons. At some point, maybe even in the next playthrough, I am going to go heavily into missiles, because I never do that, and it's something I just really should test out. Okay, so, Swarm Strikers do 50 DPS versus 40 with the strikecraft. So straight away more damage, which is actually kind of awesome, because I'd really love to use these. The power usage is a fair bit more, but not terrible. Accuracy and tracking, well, the tracking goes to the strikecraft, annoyingly. Don't really know. Here's the thing. This is doing bonus armor damage, and a lot of it, plus 50%. This, on the other hand, is doing armor penetration, so it's going straight to the hull. But that's only really going to work if we really stack the penetration weapons, so things like the arc emitter. But then you're looking at the extra damage from all of this, and I don't think it's worth it. I think you could build around it, but I don't think it's worth it. But at the same time, I kind of want to use it because it's a literal swarm. Oh, I don't care if it's better or not. I really don't think it is, honestly, but I just want to use them. Never know, I might get some kills without completely destroying the armor. Plus, some of the damage is still hitting the armor. I think if it was 100% penetration to the armor, I would actually just go, you know what? Let's go straight into the focused arc emitter and let's focus completely on that. But since it's not, I think it's best to stay as we are and probably not use them. Gonna use them anyway. Again, it's a literal swarm. I don't really care if it's the best option. So for reference, when talking about avoiding the armor of the Scourge have 3,000 armor to 2,000 hull, so it's a 2 to 3 split. So if you were to ignore the armor completely, you are only dealing with 2/5 of their total health, which is a big deal. So you have to ask yourself the question, are you doing more than double the damage if you're not using the weapons which are ignoring the armor? And yeah, you kind of are because of the bonuses. The Tachyon Lance does 100% bonus armor damage and 50% hull, and it has a 50% higher base damage, which is pretty amazing. And then when it comes to these weapons, we have the neutron launchers here, which just do insane damage with really serious bonuses. And then with this, we're doing 50% extra damage with the strikecraft. This is, well, this isn't even completely ignoring that, so it's not really worth it. Unless we had the lightning. But even then, I don't think it's worth it. Again, I have to do the numbers at some point, because I always get conflicting advice on this. If you should go and ignore the armor with the Scourge versus just go pure energy weapons and missiles for the bonus damage. And it does seem like the math goes with the bonus damage. Again, could be wrong with that. Just because they do have so much hull. With the Unbidden, they have very little hull and an extreme amount of shield, so then penetration weapons are a bit more viable. But 2 to 3 is a bit less clear-cut. I'm waffling on. You know what? I'm just tired. That's the problem right now. I've been recording for a very long time. Really fun playthrough.
War declared.
Bugger. Might be the longest, though, and the war in heaven is here. They will both fall to our might. No one make that Federation. Okay, everyone? No one. Don't. No one makes the... Darn it! What are you doing? Okay, that's not us. Wait. Oh, they joined us. They left... That was weird. They left the Republic and joined us. Good. Good. Everyone just... I pressed the wrong button, didn't I? I'm the League of Non-Aligned Powers, ain't I? Well... I need to get some sleep. What just happened? Oh, I see what happened. Because I wasn't in charge of the Federation, I'm so used to being the Federation leader at this point, you know, manipulating it so I lead. But this time I didn't care, so I didn't try. But the cats were the leaders, and the cats accepted the bloody request. So yeah, we are the League of Non-Aligned Powers. We are about to end up fighting against both of the Awakened Empires, so let's move our fleets into position, please. You're not going home and upgrading just yet, you're about to try and devour the Reconquerors. Couldn't have just gone to war earlier when I said so. No, you gotta confuse Lathrix and make him doubt himself. He doesn't need help with these things. You know what I've just realised? I don't even know how much shield to hold the Unbidden have. I think even versus those, the kinetic weapons outdo the ignore shield weapons, perhaps. Oh well, everyone's joined. That's one good thing at least. Everyone has joined the Federation. We are all content on fighting the Awakened Empire because the Scourge wasn't scary. Oh bugger, that is getting really close to the L-gate. Well, potatoes. Carrots on sticks. A lightly roasted turnip. Oh, that is so annoying. I tried to start the war early just to get it over with, and they're still saying no. The thing is, eventually, they are going to declare war on us. It's just how this works. So I guess we'll just wait around for a bit. On a side note, I am currently building a Dyson Sphere over here, and I'm about to start construction of a new ring world. Which will go here, I suppose. Oh, so many worlds though. Potential for a lot of habitats there. But it is a nice safe place to put it, so sure. Not really going habitat heavy anyway, all of that influence is being spent on other stuff. Turns out the Zealots and the Reclaimers are right next to each other. So I've just jumped in, so I'm gonna start messing things up for them. We'll take on the winner. We're right in the system next to it. Sadly, I wasn't quite in range to jump right into the fight. Will I even make it in time? Here we are. Incoming Titan fire. Or not. There's some Titan fire. Okay, so these Zealots won that handily. Sadly, most of our strike craft, like I say, are still the regular strike craft. Is there any of the... Oh, yeah, there's a few Scourge here and there. They do have a lot of point defense. It's going to take a second for that to stack up, but there we go. Ooh, lots of levels up. Fantastic. Well, that's both of the Awakened Empire fleets pretty much dealt with. Can our allies deal with it from here? Let's just take out the main systems that are left for them. With one side pretty much completely neutralised now in the Reclaimers and the Zealots losing most of their stuff, the allies should be able to deal with them by themselves. Though I might send a fleet in just in case. Almost all of the worlds over here now are Gaia worlds, with the rest currently on the way. As you can see, lots of them just got changed. Fantastic. We have turned them into what the Nanites were pretending they were. Seems like most of the forces have backed off for some reason. Oh dear, they're over here, that's why. All of our craft are now using the new strike craft, and some of them are now over 200k power, mostly because their leaders have got so much stronger from the previous fights. Okay, the enemy are now reaching the point where I really don't want them to get past, which is over here, so I think I am going to have to move them all over. Start making some new fleets in the background, and just continue to try and pump out some more tech to improve the fleets we do have. Over here, they seem to be quite slow. They are invading worlds, but only one at a time, even when there's multiple in the system. But it's not really getting the job done very quickly, which is good for us. Same over here. Also, I think this is the last of the Commonwealth. Yeah, this is it. Oh, it's a relic. It's a really good relic world. Shame it's most likely going to be infested. It's pretty. Well, it's effective. Oh, I do love democracy. Supporters of this act, every empire in the entire galaxy. Oh, except me. Oh, well, I guess I just won. Oh, don't you love it? I think I have overdone it slightly with the strike craft. Oh my god, I think I have really overdone it with the strike craft. I cannot see my battleships because of the wave of strike craft. I think we have more Scourge than the Scourge. Holy. Bugs. Just bugs. I love it. I am noticing, though, our strike craft are actually doing very little in these fights, because ultimately the energy weapons are crushing the enemy, and realistically what we should have done is have just a few battleships using their point defense. As I mentioned earlier, the enemy's main weakness is that their weapons are not being fired faster or have extra health, so they're being gunned down just as easily as a normal ships would. And honestly, just spamming the neutron launchers would be better. Long range, hits almost instantly, the enemy don't like it, bright lights, shiny things, all the good stuff. But I mean, just... that is beautiful. I love it. Love it to bits. Though, clearly we are getting stronger. Our energy weapons have been increased a lot since the last time we tried. We lost 2 battleships there and that was it. We're getting to the point where we can just sit there and just laugh at the enemy as they die, and we don't. I also apparently didn't bring several of my fleets this time, because I'm smart. Okay, can all of you be like a backup group and just move over here and start bombarding things? You can be hotkey number 6. This one isn't quite done yet, but I will. Oh no, I just remembered. I only have selective bombardment because, well, we're pacifists, aren't we? Yeah, you can go to the next one and start bombarding this world. Where's our ground forces? Aha, there you are. Can you please go there and once again save these worlds? That'd be great. Whoa, the game is tanking this fight. Game? What has happened? I don't know what has happened. Game? Is everyone okay? Okay, everything's okay now? Good, good.
Station under assault.
Again, I just love the fact we're just throwing Scourge to kill Scourge. It's like fighting fire with fire, but taking it a bit too in a silly direction. Saying that, I once did have a spider infestation in the house, and they were false widows, which can be a little bit nasty and a little bit bitey. I have been bit by one before, and it was a rather nasty experience. So I did release house spiders into the house from a garage, because they eat them. And they did, and it worked. So, you know, that's kind of what we're doing here. It's like pest control. It's like how ladybirds eat aphids. But this time it's tiny, adorable mini Scourge devouring the big bad Scourge.
Together we will build a bright...
Was it house spiders or cellar spiders? Also a problem, these are the common names, which change from place to place. Also, I'm starting to think way too much about this. I am way too tired, and this was like 10 years ago. So if I can take out this system here, bombard the world for like many, many, many years because we could only use light bombardment. It's so weak. Oh, I even stacked a few fleets here. I can't get above 0.1%. It's 0.2 if you have the secondary version of this, and I'm sure the stronger versions are stronger than that. But I am a pacifist, which means this is as strong as I can fire things at a planet. We're not trained for this. Oh, I miss so much having a Colossus. It would make my life so much easier right now. It really would. Everything would be better. Everything. Even potatoes would taste sweeter.
Construction complete.
Now I'm happy I have Strikecraft, because we've just got into point-blank range. You see, normally with Strikecraft, it's pretty nice. Oh, look, is that the Strikecraft? No, that's our flak. I wonder what the Strikecraft attacks actually look like. I don't think I've seen them. Like little spikes or something? They're very hard to see. Oh, is that them there? They're like little... electric? No, that's just the tail of the plasma. I have no idea. So, normally with Strikecraft, what you'd like to do is have your carriers at the back, have something tanking the hits, and then, you know, the Strikecraft can do their work with your battleships not being destroyed. But since these things can one-shot corvettes and destroyers very easily with their own Strikecraft before our point defense can get a shot in, or simply their acid blast destroy them, I am still going with the whole battleship spam idea, because eventually you'll get a critical mass where you can just take them out with sheer firepower at long range. The problem is, though, at this point, it does mean we are losing some ships. Oh dear, there's at least one fleet heading towards us. Hopefully the others turn around. Are we going to be okay? Oh, we might not be okay. What can I do to upgrade us? Kinetic weapon depth. What did the Strikecraft count as exactly? Yeah, type Strikecraft, but nope, I can't boost them anywhere. It's a shame. I obviously can boost energy damage, though. Needs a lot of crystals. That's the problem. Lots of crystals needed here. Consumer goods for crystals. Crystals for zappy fun times. As their Strikecraft being mowed down quite handily. Though we are now in range of the acid blasts, and we are being chewed up. Still, that's another fleet destroyed. Darn, there's a fleet heading here. I was hoping I could just stay here for a while and they wouldn't send another one, but apparently they are. Okay, we have to fight that one. That one seems to have turned around. Nope, it's heading here as well. In that case, we're going to start moving. We could jump, but then we're going to be weak. Oh no, look how close we are. Yeah, I might just change our battleships from now on just to pure energy weapons. As much as I do love the Strikecraft, they are just not getting the job done as much. Being able to hit at this range would be fantastic, so nice and weak.
Means of production.
Shoot faster! Do more damage! Hit their faces! We are taking out one at a time, to be fair. Okay, can you all please enter orbit around the Juggernaut? That way you can all heal up. At least start healing, I think. Right? Am I wrong? Am I right? Am I potato? Yes, okay, she's all starting to heal. Can you heal while it's moving? Don't know. Yeah, can we see any of the attacks? Not really. Now, of course, thankfully, the Strikecraft continues to do damage even if the enemy is in point-blank range, so we are still destroying them with Strikecraft. It's just... Actually, that went really well. Maybe I should keep Strikecraft. Okay, you can go there now. Defend that. Oh, you poor things. I wanted one fleet to move over here, but we don't really have the power to do so. Okay, you guys, you are now going to move here to try and destroy this world.
Scientific progress.
If we can just clear the rest of the fleets here, we have successfully blocked them off this area, so then we can start to control it a bit. It's so expensive. Okay, move here. Right now, it's not going to be safe. So to restate the reason why I think the lasers are better, is it's not necessarily that the Strikecraft are doing less damage here. In fact, I think they are incredibly powerful. The main problem is just the range of them. It takes a long time for the strike craft to get in range. By then, the enemy can use their acid blast. So even if the strike craft could almost one-shot the enemy, we're going to take damage every single fight, even with overwhelming victories. With the longer range weapons, at some point, you hit the critical mass, the critical amount, where you're killing them before they even get in range, thus giving you 0 lost battles. So stacking them makes that happen a lot faster. Otherwise this happens. Oh, that is a lot of things being destroyed there. You know, I think the Scourge are also not attacking the enemy strike craft, whereas the normal strike craft were. Oh dear. I don't know if that's true, by the way, so if anyone can confirm or deny that in the comments. Oh, that is bad. Are you just gonna stay there, though? Please stay there. No, stop moving. Well, looks like we're gonna back off now. Just, yeah, full-on return home. It was fun to use them, but let's go back to our regular strike craft for more damage, and the fact, I think some of those losses may have been from their strike crafts. Let's have a look, see. Yeah, swarm strikers. Swarm strikers, they didn't do as much damage as actually, no, they did more damage than the acid blasts. The strikers were reaching the target. So the missiles, well, I think the missiles would have anyway, but the strike craft were before being knocked out by our strike craft, which I'll show when I swap them back over, since it looks really pretty. Lots of laseries. Well, it took them a while, but our allies have finally removed the reclaimers. Sorry, the reconquerors. Have I been saying that wrong the whole time? Probably. The zealots are currently being bombarded. Oh, I just saw the Crown Force go. Yep, that's one more planet now under our allies' control. They only have a couple left. The galaxy continues to turn a very curious combination of colours. I don't like being beaten back. I know that's quite an obvious statement, but it's so annoying. Bombard faster, please. We are so bloody close. There we go. The world is now barren, but at least it ain't all scourgy like. Just looks like it's had a deep clean. It does look very clean, very shiny. A little bit of dandruff, but you know, other than that, nice and clean and shiny. Okay, you skedaddle back home before you get killed. I don't even know why you're still going over here. I thought he sent you away, but no, apparently this is just where you are now. Oh, actually, we can watch to see if the strike craft attack the enemy strike craft when the enemy eventually fire their strike craft. There they are, look. Being all strike crafty and stuff. Da 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 da. There's our strike craft. Oh no, our flak's already hitting it. Stop, stop, let me see the strike craft. Yeah, they're definitely just going past without attacking it. Yeah, definitely now. Oh, so they're the little attacks. No wonder I haven't been able to see them. They're kind of fadey. It's blobs of smoky light. Of course that's what they attack with. I mean, what else would you attack with? Also, versus these, the... Oh, I wish I was using normal strike craft there. Still gonna win. Yeah, you two should probably skedaddle as well. Saying that, that's going away. You could risk it and start bombarding. Now, sadly, the bombard damage does go away over time, but... Yeah, sure. Why do you have two titans? How do I keep messing this up? I know I should use the fleet manager, but when you have this many fleet, it's just so much easier to just spam buttons. Although that attack wasn't the best, I do think it was still worth it. Ooh, and the enemy are going away, which is good for us. Let's go back to there. Are they moving? Yes, they are. It's very slowly. But yeah, the attack was definitely worth it. It's held them off quite a bit. It's taken away loads of their fleets. I think in total I killed 11 of their fleets, which is quite impressive for that group of ours. And now I'm going back to the regular strike craft. They're already upgraded, and I am rebuilding the fleet slowly. Once again, I know I should be using the fleet manager, but spamming buttons is just more fun. One day I'll do things efficiently, not just because this is more fun, But then I feel like a bit of my soul will be lost. I don't have much of it left, honestly, to begin with. The Fall of the Awakened. This will be the age of the Blorg Republic. Both Awakened Empires have now been removed from the game. So I was wrong about the half species and how they work. I thought that if they were, for instance, half Blorg, they would be underneath the Blorg category, and thus you can turn all the Blorgs into them, but no, they are always their own category. And apparently, we now have Cyborg Borgs. Sorry, Cyborg Blorgs. I mean, they are kind of Borg now. The Blorg is Borg. Because that's going to be easy to say. This is really what I should have been doing a little bit earlier. So what I've done, and wow, look, yeah, the strike craft get way too close if we don't have our strike craft attacking them, as the swarm doesn't. But yeah, what I should do is start sending smaller groups of fleets just to pick off one or two of their systems, just avoiding their fleets and just taking out the stations. The stations, despite having lots of health, aren't particularly difficult to take out. Also over here, what I'm thinking we could do is move in our fleet over here and start taking this bit of territory instead, because I could quite easily get this bit under control. If I can grab this system, I can even turn this into a fortress world. Loads of spaces for habitats. That would become a fortress. And from there, we can start making attacks, and then we could turn this into our next fortress, and then this area is already cut off. Then there's only one system we really need to take over here. Yeah, that's the order I think I should have done to begin with. Need to make sure to remember to add the planetary shield generators to all of our forts. So how these work, for those who are unaware, with the habitats, is that as long as one fortress remains on the station, it will activate its FTL inhibitor, not allowing enemies past the system. Essentially, you can enter the system and you can leave the way you came, but you can't go any other way, essentially blocking them from leaving the system into our territory. The planetary shield generator lowers the amount of damage from orbital bombardment by 50%, which is really important because once you reach 50% devastation on a planet, then the FTL inhibitor turns off. Each of the fortresses also gives us defense armies, which are vital for defending the planet versus the Scourge. Now, if you have loads of fortresses all in the same system, essentially it means the Scourge will really struggle to get past the system, because after it gets 1 to 50%, it might move on to the next, but then the original fortress will start to heal up, and thus get back underneath 50% damage. And so, the enemy is trapped forever unless it can bombard all of the planets, not essentially at once, but have enough fleets here to cycle through them so they're all devastated enough, which the AI tends to not do the best. And then, to take the planet, it needs an insane amount of ground forces, and it's going to take a long time to bombard and remove that garrison, because the Scourge can only do light bombardment. Similar to us. Yeah, only moderate damage, not high damage to armies. So it takes a very long time. And as you can see here, this planet is being bombarded and the garrison is going down incredibly slowly. And we're going to have it in the thousands on every single fortress world. And there's going to be lots of them. Might need to send out our fleets again to start thinning the enemies. No, I think what we're going to do is move out and let's make our fortress here. And try to push enemies back from this section. So let's secure this. And then from that, we can make a move and sweep north. So we take this, start to fortify, at least have the first fortress down, then we start to move up, take this, start doing the same, and then we start clearing up this. Yes, I think that's the plan. And yeah, I think I'm strong enough now, but I would like one more fleet, then I'll make a move. And of course, we continue to get stronger in the background, now at 20k research. Now grabbing this system, our fleets are moving into place to defend our construction vessel, who's on passive, and our first habitat will go down here. Yeah, plenty of space of habitats. I think this will be a permanent choke point. So there, and there, well, anywhere here, and then that's it. The Scourge are completely contained here forever, as long as this area gets cleaned up. We have a lot of fleet power now. In comparison to our last attack, we are far stronger. Realistically, we could probably sweep them now and just win. But I'm going to make it awkward on myself still. Okay, it needs more influence so we can start stuff here. I did just start building a brand new ring world. I can't help it, ring worlds must go everywhere. Seems like most of the enemies are already trapped here, so what we're going to do is move our fleet here, and then start to clean up this little bit of territory. That way we're quite safe to continue to build up our fortresses, so these two systems are basically just not able to be passed by the Scourge. Now, of course, to complete this, what we're going to need is enough fleet power to hold all 3 of these choke points and not lose any ships during combat. Now, of course, this is going to get easier and easier because I'm making more and more research. It means all the repeatables being done faster and faster, so soon enough, I will have 3 sets of fleets which have no losses. And of course, strikecraft aren't lost anyway because they're not attacked by the Scourge. They have no way of defending versus strikecraft. They have no point defense, and their strikecraft doesn't attack strikecraft. All well and good for us. Now, what we could do is push all the way to here and make a choke point here instead. The problem is that that'll cost a load of influence. I mean, this one over here is already going to cost us, I think, it was like 300, 400 influence, so I think for now we'll just settle with the 3. Then we'll see how difficult it is to make up enough fleet power. Yeah, so there we go. Here are our strikecraft, and they are attacking the strikecraft of the enemy, along with the missiles. Thus killing them long before they get to us. Still need more firepower, though. On the upside, no losses in that fight. Took some damage, but not that much by the looks of things. Yep, just from the small acid blasts. That's a lot of fleet power, though. Kind of just stuck here for the moment, since they keep on clumping up. Oh, that's a problem. Okay, I am making some more fleets over here. Yeah, we've got to deal with this soon. Okay, thankfully it's just bombarding a planet, so that's going to be a while. Just eradicating you would be so much easier. And say goodbye to one of your construction vessels as well. Perfect, that's it. Split up more. Fantastic. Finally, they're starting to move away from each other. So we can start attacking them and taking out this area. And the perfect leader to lead a fortress system. Defense army damage plus 20%. So I've changed my mind. It's going to be way too annoying to keep up 3 separate fleets which don't take damage from the enemy, so instead we're going for 2. So we're still going with this option, but we're now pushing all this back, and we're going to claim this system over here. Yeah, we're going to lose a bit more influence doing this, because you have to claim all systems along the way, or simply skip them all and go there, which is still equally as expensive. But I think it is ultimately worth it since we need less fleets. The idea originally was all that influence could be spent on more fortresses. Bear in mind, again, we don't really need these once we have enough fleet power because, well, that's what's going to do the defending, not the fortresses. But we do need the fortresses to have enough navy capacity to support that fleet. So the idea was, loads of fortresses, ridiculous amount of fleet power, which would be a lot of fun, but that's just going to be way more annoying and take way longer. Yeah, the rest of you moving into position, except for this one fleet, which is now going to bombard this infested world. You, hostile, go after that. There we go, saving those 2 worlds for our allies. Which is weird, because again, the Commonwealth have been our enemies the entire time, but now we are their bestest friends ever. And I'm building up a fleet here, so we can start dealing with stuff over here. Which we'll need to do soon, because that wormhole and that L-gate is scarily close. Things are going well, except for the fact I've just messed up quite drastically. So only half the fleet is currently here. We should still win, but we're going to take more losses than usual, since it's going to take longer to burn down the enemy. Can't deny the strikecraft is scarily effective. And with that, we should get these fellows moving. Okay, I'm going to start up over here instead, rather than going all the way along. You still just bombarding? Yes, you... No, you're not. What are you doing? Just go chilling, okay? Move there, and prepare to attack them as soon as the jump drive is off cooldown. Let's start pushing back down here. Still haven't used this wormhole, thankfully. Of course, we do have a few fortresses here, which will hold them for a very long time. That's why I'm not too nervous about it, but still... better that they're not doing that. You're still bombarding that, but what we can do is move up and grab our final system. In fact, no, what I'll do is grab this system first, so we get the rare resource. Oh yeah, the ground forces got caught and then got killed. Okay, just make a couple more ground forces, don't really need too many, just a couple. And we'll quickly save those worlds. We are the savior of so many people. You're welcome. Now beginning our attack to clean the Scourge from this area here. We can take some losses right now, and it doesn't really matter too much in the grand scheme of things, so we can now be way more aggressive. The strike craft just mow down the enemy. The problem is it just takes too long for them to reach the target. We tend to get hit. Even if we were in carrier mode, the same would still happen. In fact, it did happen. I did a test earlier. Oh, nope, you're moving towards us, so you can actually stay where you are. Go to the center, be perfect there. You're about to grab the final system, put down some fortresses, that's all well and good. You're bombarding, you're now finished and can rejoin the group. Oh, and over here, you've already won. Fantastic. What are you guys doing? Staying put. And healing up. Okay, good. Take this, then attack one of those. This is now, I think, the final push. Well, darn it. One of these construction vessels wasn't in passive mode, so I've just lost some of the building progress. Well, not too much of a big deal. I've had to move one of my fleets back here, so I'm no longer pushing them back over here, but the other fleet is doing a good job taking back the commonality space. Just taking back these worlds. We need to bombard one of these planets. Oh, actually, they seem to be doing it themselves. Wonderful. I don't need to bother. So all we need to do is just take back all of this chunk and push them back. We're almost there now. And once I have the station up and running here, what I can do is increase the power of our fleets. Where are you? Not the hyperlane, which is the one I'm thinking of. There we are, yeah. The command center will give us plus 10% fire rate as long as we're in the system. And we're just going to increase its health first, though. So loads of hangar bays. Just make sure it doesn't get killed in one shot if the enemy gets past. We can also slow down their sublight speed as well, so we have more time to deal damage to them before they're in range. So I'll probably just keep this fleet here now forever, along with the Juggernaut. The rate they create new ships is just terrifying. There's constantly new fleets being produced. Actually, where are you going? You're staying put. Excellent. Okay, continue your current path. I forgot to mention, but now our new ships are being focused on this type of ship, so neutron launchers over the strike craft. Longer range, more effective at the start of combat. Of course, we are still mixing in a few of these for the point defense, but really this is what I should have been doing to begin with. Oh, come on, game. There's an uprising in one of our allies' territories. You know what? That's not very cordial of you, but after the war, if you're peaceful, I'll invite you into the Federation. If you're not devoured by the Scourge, which you very well might be at this rate. We have found the Brood Queen relic, which means we can make a little tiny Scourge fleet every single relic cooldown. And because it doesn't cost influence, I'm going to be using it every single time. They're not particularly powerful, but it's nice to have them to show the other empires that this is what we can unleash at any given moment. I'm going to call you Sam, and you Reggie, and you Gogleflachen. There's been a machine uprising in the Commonwealth, which is right next to where we currently are. Speaking of which, where's our fleet? That was weird. Oh, it's kind of like knocked out the symbol. Okay, can one of you please get over there and deal with that? Thankfully, this one's only one world, so it'll only take a few moments to deal with. This one's still going to be a pain. Also, still quite a few infested worlds we're having to deal with. Being ambushed here, we should still win, but yep, we're going to take some serious losses from this. Go, Strikecraft. Our swarm beats yours. It really beats yours. Now, it's 2 of the fleet's gone. If we take out this one, that's pretty much secured. Depends if you're moving. Yes, you are. Okay, we'll still win handily. Just stay put. Sending in reinforcements. No. Teleporting in reinforcements now. To make controlling the Scourge even easier, we are now building gateways. Once again, what we're doing really isn't the good guy thing to do. We are going to be controlling the Scourge. We're going to be, on the face of it, and what we're going to tell the rest of the Galactic community, is that we are controlling them so that we don't have to completely eradicate them. Perhaps someday they will come to learn that peaceful coexistence is really the only way they can live here. After all, they are being hunted down by the hunters, which have forced them to come to our galaxy for sustenance. Otherwise, who knows what they'd be doing. But really, it's a bit of an obvious threat. If our empire were to ever lose control, if our empire were to ever be weakened, or just turn malicious after being attacked, the Scourge would be set free. And the galaxy would never be the same again. And who knows, maybe it is true, maybe they will eventually stop trying to kill us. They will evolve in a way that they will no longer be what they are today. That is our hope, that is our dream, that is everything we can possibly dream of. Said dream a few times there. Whoa, loads of Allied forces here now. Yeah, great, well done. Allied forces, great. You're helping out so much now that I've pretty much already contained everything. We've got just about enough force there to stop their fleet, as long as they don't gang up too much. And of course, we will be adding more as we continue. But the first thing I'm going to be building here is a gateway, so I can just teleport new forces straight here. This way as well, I can just continue to put down new forces at our mega shipyard, rather than turning these into shipyards themselves. So these can just be really high health citadels. Another way to take this is that the threat of the Scourge being here and us telling lies to the rest of the galaxy saying, well, we are struggling to contain them, we don't have the power, will also keep the rest of the galaxy unified. I'm not saying this is a good thing to do, but I'm saying this is something I could see our empire doing for the greater good. The galaxy remains completely unified against the Scourge. The Scourge is an enemy we have pretty much nullified that isn't actually hurting anyone, since our ships aren't being lost and only strikecraft which are controlled by AI are ever being destroyed. We are pretty much causing no harm, and yet every member of the galaxy suddenly is getting along. Bestest friends, no more wars, no more grand strifes. Everyone is slowly adopting our ideals due to the force of the galactic community. Workers are being treated well. Slavery is abolished. We have brought peace, prosperity, and a utopian existence to the galaxy. And this just guarantees it will never change. Again, not saying we're in the right here, but at least we can make an argument that it's morally grey. I just realised after that war over here, the uprising, I actually took full control over these two worlds. Whoopsie-daisy. Well, we did save the populations after all. You're welcome. And speaking of which, through this, our leaders are immortal. So I can only assume our populations are nearly biologically immortal as well. Because this gives us plus 5 years and it takes 4 months. Seriously, just 4 months? Yep, as you can see, our tech's got a lot better as well. Now, of course, biological immortality will eventually lead to problems as well, but that's going to be in many, many hundreds of years. So that's not a problem, really, for us right now. Plus, with how many ring worlds we can still make, it's going to extend that problem even further because, well, there's just so much space for everyone and so many resources. Our Federation has finally reached max level as well. So now we have Galactic Peacekeepers giving us yet another 25% damage versus the endgame. Because that's what we are. Galactic Peacekeepers.
Construction
The friends of the galaxy. The good guys. The ones who own them. Their thoughts. Their space. Their lives. Because we care. Don't worry, Galaxy. You're in safe hands now. Trust in Lathrix. Trust in the Republic. The gateways are now online, connecting our mega shipyard to our outposts. Well, at least this outpost. The next gateway is about to come online as well.
Together we will build a brighter future.
I'm upgrading armor every time I can. Other than that, just more energy damage and energy fire rate. And more strikecraft damage when armor is not available.
Together we will build a brighter future.
We are finally also taking out all of these locations as well, so all the enemies here are being removed.
Our research has progressed.
You know, in case I want to go ahead and finally fix all that border gore. Over here, I've actually started to repair it already. Well, that's just about it. The Scourge are now permanently contained, and are there purely because we want them to get better and eventually join the Galactic community, because even that species is not beyond our help. At least that's what we're going to tell the rest of the galaxy. And perhaps a good chunk of the Blorg truly believe that, and perhaps that will eventually even happen. Since they seem to be able to make an endless supply of ships, which are all biological, clearly they can synthesize food from something from those planets, perhaps forever. Eventually, they will join us in the galactic community in many thousands of years, perhaps. Until then, we're not losing any of our lives, which is the important thing. The Blorg Republic now controls pretty much the galaxy through the Federation and through the galactic community. There is peace throughout the entire galaxy, and every single one of these resolutions I wanted to pass, I have already passed. Well, there are a few things still to go through, but they are pretty much an inevitability at this point, since we are so much more powerful diplomatically than any other empire. In fact, most other empires are in breach of galactic law because of the other resolutions we've already put through. So, we control everything, and all we want is peace. We are pacifists, after all. Our people are happy, and the future looks bright. With more ring worlds, we can get more consumer goods, and perhaps we can even have the utopian abundance living standard for our species. In fact, we probably can now. If we sell our alloys and put it all into consumer goods every month, we can probably do that. But that's something which would take way too long, and again, is just a matter of time now. There are no more threats. We have won in pretty much every sense of the word. So thank you so much for watching. I really do hope you've enjoyed this playthrough. It has been super interesting for me, even though I clearly lost my mind in the previous day's recording, which you can probably tell by me just rambling on about strikecraft and things. My mind was just offline. Thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed today's video, then of course, likes, favourites, shares, comments, all that good stuff helps out me, helps out the channel, and most importantly, shows that Stellaris is a series you wish to see continued in the future. In the next video, most likely, it's either going to be a mega church, or it's going to be terravores. One of which is a bit more vile than the other. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.